Question.
Yes, bring it on.
All right, here it comes. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential and non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis? Time starts now.
As we all know, pageants are a very, very inspiring event, not only to the Philippines, but to every country who supports pageantry. It is important to stage a pageant and to show the Philippines that we are much more than our setbacks, than our failures, and that we are able to overcome any adversity. Having a pageant symbolizes hope, and right now on the stage, that is who we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Quezon City, Michelle Gumabao. And now we move on to our next candidate. From Cavite, Kimberly Hackinson, aka Billy.
Good evening, judges.
All right, Billy, I will ask you two questions. You had a chance to pick your question backstage. After 30 seconds, you will hear this. And then I will ask you another question. All right, are you ready? Okay. Here's your first question. What advice will you give to a first-time voter for the 2022 elections? Time starts now.
We have fought long and hard for our right to suffrage. And this is not something that we should waste. For us to be able to complain and be able to appreciate the things that we have as Filipino citizens, we have to vote. We have to participate in selecting our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, here is your second question. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential or non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis?
I am someone who is usually an independent person. But because of this beauty pageant, I realized that I needed to ask for help, that I needed to reach out to people. And same goes for everyone else. To be able to survive something as big as this pandemic, altruism should be practiced and cooperation is always the key. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for Cavite, Kimberly Hackinson. Next up, we shall hear from Bohol, Pauline Amalinks. Good evening.
Good evening again.
How are you?
Overwhelmed, but all in all, very grateful to be here.
Yes, here we go. Down to the final couple questions. I will ask you two questions. One you picked backstage. After you hear 30 seconds, after you talk for 30 seconds, you'll hear this. And then I'll give you another 30 seconds to answer the second question. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Your first question. What factors influence you in deciding on what to buy or post online?
The factors that help me decide that is basically what I want to put out there, what I want to show the world about myself, how I want to portray myself. What matters most is that we know who we are, that we are true to our authentic selves, and that we always try our best to show and share that to the rest of the world, and hopefully inspire them to do the same.
Thank you. Here is your second question. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential and non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis? Go.
I think pageants are now an amazing platform to show that not all our dreams are canceled. They're just put on hold. And for us, we're lucky that we're still able to make this one dream come true, to stand here, to spread hope, to rally people together in action and conversation, and spark change. And together, I'm sure, we can make a positive impact out there on this stage. That is the essence of beauty pageants in the time of the pandemic.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bohol, Pauline Amalinks. Now let's call on Iloilo, Ms Mateo. Good evening.
Good evening, Casey. How are you doing?
I'm nervous. For everybody. Okay. So I will ask you two questions. You're able
Okay.
to choose a number backstage. After you talk for 30 seconds, you will hear this. And then I will ask another question where you receive another 30 seconds. Clear?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Your first question. If you could create a new paper currency with the image of any Filipino on it, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
If I were given the chance, I want to use the face of Miriam Defensor Santiago. For those who don't know, she was an Ilongga, but what I admired about her is that she used her knowledge, her voice to serve the country. And I want to be somebody like her, somebody who puts her heart, her passion into action. And after all, she is the best president that we never had.
Okay, it's time for your second question. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential or non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis?
As a candidate, I know I'm not just the face of Iloilo City, but I am here carrying hope and as a symbol of light in the darkest times. And as of the moment, I want to help my community. I want to use my strength to make an impact. And that is the essence of beauty pageant. It gives us the power to make a difference.
Well said, Iloilo. Rabia Mateo. All right, now we call on our final contestant. Parañaque, Maria Isabella Ismael.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody.